Okay, this is Review C for Unit 10. We're going to go over it. You probably don't have Review C. It's okay. The questions are very similar. Right now, I'm looking at Review A. Wow. They look almost exactly the same. So, even though this is Review C, you should still be able to get help from this. Okay, simplifying products with exponents. I don't know if you guys read this stuff or not, but this is going to give you some hints on what you're going to be doing. Simplifying products with exponents. So, that means we're multiplying exponents. Whenever we multiply like base, we add the exponents. So, I'm going to have x. 17 plus 6, 23, plus 0, 23, plus 1, 24. You guys always forget that 1 when you just see the x. There is a 1 there. Okay. Now, again, we're going to do the same thing. Negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28. Then I add the exponents. 19 plus 12 is 31. Negative times negative is a positive. Okay. Number 3. 9 times 4 is 36. X to the 5th power plus, or times x to the negative 9th power. You add the two, I know you're really subtracting, gives you x to the negative 4 power y squared, because a 1 here and a 1 here. Now, this cannot be your answer. This is wrong on the test because it has a negative exponent. So this equals 36 y squared over x to the positive 4th power. That's your answer. Number 4, we are going to distribute. 5 times 9 is 45. I have 2 x's and 9 x's. That gives me 11 x's. 5 times negative 8 is negative 40. I have 2 x's and 6 x's. That gives me 8 x's. 5 times 1 is 5. I have 2 x's and no x's. That gives me 2 x's. X squared plus 0 is x squared. Same thing, number 5. There is a 1 here. I'm not going to go over number 5. It's just distributing, okay? Same thing I just did. Competency 2. Quotients. Quotients mean divide. So now we're going to be subtracting exponents or adding, depending on what the sign of the exponent is. So, I have 20 x's over 32 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay. Now, these 10 x's cancel out these 10 x's. These 10 x's cancel out these 10 x's, leaving me 12 x's on bottom. So my answer is 1 over x to the 12th power. I do not want to have to write this out every single time. There is a shortcut. Bring the smaller number to the larger number. When I move an exponent across the division symbol, it takes the opposite sign. That's a positive 20. So now it becomes negative 20. 32 minus 20 is 12. It stays on bottom. There's my answer. Okay, how many times does 6 go into 24? 4 times. I have 21 x's on top. I have 7 x's on bottom. I bring the small to the large, minus 7. So that's x to the 14th power. Okay? Number 8, you have to be careful with number 8 because that negative sign right there means that this is negative. It has to stay negative. 3 goes into 24 8 times. 3 goes into 3 1 time. There's my negative sign. Okay. I have 10 A's on top, 38 A's on bottom. That's going to give me 28 A's on bottom. 1 B on bottom, 3 B's on top. That's going to give me 2 B's on top. There's your answer. Must have the negative sign. Don't have the negative sign, it is wrong. 30 can go into 60 2 times. I have negative 5 K's on top. So when I bring this down, it's going to become plus 5. So I'm going to get 17 K's on bottom. I have 1 M on top, 1 M on bottom. They cancel out. The M's go away. So 2 over 1 K to the 17th or 2 over K to the 17th is fine. Number 10, I think we got the hang of this. So I'm going to move on to the next competency. Competency 3, simplifying exponents. This we know is... Pow! Did I scare you, Kevin? Oh, good. This is pow pow. Power to power. Anytime you have power to power, you multiply. 3 times 5, x to the 15th. Now, what you need to remember is, this 2 has an exponent of a 1. So this equals negative 2 to the 2nd power, x to the 12th power, y to the 18th power. Negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, which equals a positive 4. X to the 12th power, y to the 18th power. That's my answer. Had no negative exponents, so nothing for me to move. 13. Now, there's a 1 there, so I get 7 to the negative 3rd power, x to the negative 24th power, y to the positive 6th power. So y is going to be staying on top. Now, y to the 6th power stays on top. 7 cubed goes to the bottom. X to the 24th goes to the bottom. 7 cubed equals 343. So my answer is y to the 6th over 343 x to the 24th power. Notice how I converted this first to a positive exponent. I put it on bottom to make it a positive exponent before I went ahead and times 7 times 7 times 7 or cubed it. Okay. A to the 18th power, B to the 10th power, A to the 7th power, B to the 49th power. That is not your answer. You must simplify. Okay? Always bring smaller to larger, so the 7 is going to come up and become negative 7 plus 18. That gives me A to the 11th power. 10 is going to come down and become negative 10. That gives me B to the 39th power. 15 is the exact same, except you're going to distribute the negative 4, just like I distributed the negative 3, and then you'll simplify. Okay, scientific notation. I'm going to multiply the first numbers together, and then I'm going to add or subtract my exponents. So 4.2 times 5.9 equals 24.78 times 10 to the Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7th power. Now, the problem we have here is scientific notation. The decimal must be to the right of the first non-zero number. It needs to be right here behind the 2. So I put an X where my decimal should go. That gives me 2.478 times 10. Now, I count from the X. X marks the spot. Do you hear the intensity in my voice? From the X to the decimal. That means I need to move one space. Did I go right or left? So that means right is a plus 1. So that means my answer is minus 6. I'm telling you right now, as sure as I'm standing here, at least 1/3, if not 1/2 of you, will not move the decimal and tell me 24.78 times 10 to the negative 7th power is your answer. Or you'll count from the decimal to the X and you'll subtract 1 and tell me it's negative 8. You'll do it wrong. Please stop that. Let us skip down to 18. This is how I want you to do 18. I want you to write it out. 1.2 times 10 to the 9th power times 1.2 times 10 to the 9th power. I don't want you to go pow pow. I want you to do this. Why? You'll see when we get to unit 11 or 12. I'm not sure. 1.2 times 1.2 is 1.44. Now, my decimal's in the correct spot, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm not going to have to do anything. I'm not going to have to move anything. 9 plus 9 is 18. Now, we're going to look at division. Division. I divide the first numbers, and then I subtract or add the exponents, depending on the signs. So, let's just go with 4.1 divided by 8.2, and I get 0.5. Is 0.5, is the decimal in the correct spot? Hello? Is the decimal in the correct spot? No, it must be to the right of the first non-zero number, not the left. So now, with scientific notation, things are different. You don't bring the smaller number to the larger number. You always bring the bottom number to the top. Just so happens this is smallest to largest, but that's not the way it goes. In scientific notation, I can have a negative exponent. So I'm going to bring my negative 12 up to the 8. When I move an exponent across that fraction bar, it changes signs. That means plus 12. 8 plus 12 is 20. Now, this decimal is not in the right place. It needs to be here. So this is going to give me 5 or 5 point. I don't care. 5.0. I don't care. Times 10 to the, I have to move it one spot. From the X, I move one spot. Which way did I go? So that means minus 1. That means this is a 19. I don't care if you put 5.0, 5.0. All the same thing. All mean the same thing. 5 equals 5 point, which equals 5.0, which equals 5.0000. I can add as many zeros as I want. Not going to do 20. You should be fine on 20. Word problems with scientific notation. This is something you have to memorize. It will not be given to you on the test. And actually, what I would do, as soon as I started the test, I would turn to this section and write this from memory. I would write total, how far, multiply, How long per person divide? That's what I would write right away. So now, let's see what this one is. This one is how long? How long is division? That means I'm going to take first number first. 1.4 times 10 to the 9th. It goes on top. My second number, 3.0 times 10 to the 5th, goes on bottom. I divide those out. We've already discussed that. This one says, how many total hours? Total is multiply. 3.67 times 10 to the 7th power times 4.6 times 10 to the negative 1 power. Multiply that out. Multiply that out. Okay, now we got a formula. Ravioli, ravioli, give me the formioli. A equals, for pi we're going to use 3.14, it tells me right here, times, what's r? What's my radius? 4 squared. Put that in the calculator. Always round to the nearest tenth. You'll be able to do that one on your own. This one, I need my height. 450 goes in for h. Solve it. Always round to the nearest tenth. All right, kids. That's it. We be done. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to ask. Have a great day. Good luck on the test. Bye-bye.